So here we're going to have a look at savings and then the savings function that goes along with it. Just like consumption, savings isn't a new topic. It's something we have seen before. So if we think back to the circular flow, much like we did with consumption, we have the production sector paying an income to households in return for their factors of production. Households can then spend that money on goods and services through consumption expenditure. Now, this concept of savings takes us from the two-sector model and brings us to the three-sector model. In the three-sector model, we find the financial sector. The financial sector primarily consisting of banks. And this gives households an option not just to spend their money, but if they want to then save their money and for this money to be reinvested or to be planned to be invested at a later date. So now that we're talking savings, we're looking at the three-sector model when it comes to the circular flow. We can then pick this function apart to see what it's all about. So the savings function starts with this negative A value, and this negative A value is referring to dis savings. Dis savings, okay. And dis savings actually refers quite directly to autonomous expenditure. This idea that to survive, you have to spend money even when your income is zero. This might dig into your savings, or at the very least, this is money that simply cannot be saved. This is negative savings, money which you simply must spend to survive. Therefore, in a savings perspective, it receives a negative value. So these dis savings are negative savings. And they're also autonomous. Okay, notice how there's no Y value here. The dis savings is autonomous. Now, we take the 1 minus the MPC here. We can take this group. We're going to call this group the marginal propensity to save. Okay, that's 1 minus the MPC, which was the marginal propensity to consume. This is now the marginal propensity to save. And what this is telling us is, let's take, I'll do it here just as an example. Let's take 1, okay, and let's say that we had a marginal propensity to consume of 0.5. So for every additional $1 we earned, we change or increase our spending by 75 cents. What this means is the leftover, which is not spent, will equal to 0.25. And what that means is for every additional $1 we earn, 75 cents is consumed and 25 cents of that additional dollar is saved. And that's our marginal propensity to save. Our change in income is now resulting in a change in our savings, not only our consumption. What's also important to note is that the MPC, which in this case is 0.75, and the MPS, which is 0.25, should equal to 1. So the assumption, I guess, that we make in Keynesian economics is, let's say we have $1. In this scenario, 75 cents is spent, the remaining 25 cents is saved. So we're assuming that money that's not spent is saved. Okay, that's the assumption we're going to make, given that we're working in a three-sector model. So whatever's not spent, whatever's left over is saved. So this is our savings function, okay? Dis savings and marginal propensity to save. Let's say, just for argument's sake, you started off with a consumption function which looked like consumption is equal to, I'm just making this up, 1,000 plus 0.75y. Okay. Your savings function would then be minus 1,000 plus 0.25y. Okay. If your autonomous expenditure is 1,000 and you must spend this even when income is 0, then your dis savings will be negative 1,000 If your marginal propensity to consume was 0.75, then your marginal propensity to save is 0.25, dependent on Y. Okay, so gentlemen, this is our savings function, very much dependent on consumption, very much dependent on changes in income.